Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Africa. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania with more analysis on the dismal 2021 municipal elections in South Africa. Parties are coming out and making their voice be heard on the topic of coalitions. Why does this matter? Well, a record 66 municipalities, or 70 depending on the source, who knows, but 66 municipalities in South Africa are hung. Municipalities and metros, including places like Nelson Mandela Bay or Tshwane, eThekwini or Durban, Tshwane or Pretoria, all hung, as well as Johannesburg, and those in the Western Cape where the Democratic Alliance has fallen on hard times. So what exactly is happening here? Well, the economic freedom fighters, among others, have mentioned how they feel about coalitions. The Democratic Alliance, for its part, has said it will not go into any coalition in any municipality or metro with either the African National Congress or the economic freedom fighters. The Inkatha Freedom Party has released that on Sunday that they will not enter into a coalition with the ANC in a municipality where the IFP is in the lead. The Good Party has now announced that it won't go into any coalitions. They'll sit in opposition wherever they have not won, which is nowhere. They haven't won anywhere, so they'll sit in opposition everywhere. That leaves the economic freedom fighters as the big boy on the block with seats, nearly 1,000 seats, 980 across the country out of 8,700 seats on council. So what does that mean? Well, the EFF has given a list of demands, and they've actually got some good points in their demands. They make some excellent points on service delivery, on transparency, but that's where it begins to end, and their ransom demands come off the rails, because that's essentially what this is. They have a ransom. If you want their participation, you must kowtow to their demands. Now, this is pretty cheeky for a party that lost votes, a party that only has more seats because of the failure of the ANC and the DA. And they go from excellent points on demanding service delivery and transparency to bigotry and outright racial hatred, nationalization, handouts to perpetuate poverty and undermine the dignity of achievement, and ludicrous demands that are on the national government, not on municipal governments. So under their letter that they released on the 5th of November, now 3 days ago, they have an anti-racism platform. I love it. That's brilliant. But their description of anti-racist means that whatever coalition is an outcome of an EFF participation must not reinforce white supremacy and Afrikanerdom, which, of course, is racial hatred, the statement there. And we'll get back to that. White supremacy and Afrikanerdom. Why? Because you profess black supremacy, EFF? And the next statement they have is an understanding that the EFF should exclusively govern in all municipalities in exchange of others. And where this happens, there should be an agreement on oversight functions given to the coalition partners. So if the EFF enters into coalition with you, you must give them mayoral position. You must give them control of the council, even though they're a minority. That's an odd demand. Now, they put timeframes for some other demands. They have said that they want an amendment to the Constitution to have land expropriation without compensation within 6 months. That is not a municipal function, and demanding such a thing from the national government is absolutely ludicrous. They want the creation of a state bank in 12 months. They want the nationalization of the South African Reserve Bank within 12 months. They want cancellation of student debt in 12 months. They want a state pharmaceutical company in 12 months. And they say the stem must be removed from the national anthem in 12 months. Well, why don't we remove Zulu and Xhosa and Tswana from there? Unbelievable the nonsense they've come here, folks. Bigotry and racial hatred, nationalization. Now let's talk about what this means in terms of the South African Constitution. Julius Malema continuously skirts around the law, avoiding prosecution and jail time for his racial hatred that he spews. Well, according to the South African Human Rights Commission, race-based discrimination presents one of the greatest challenges to the country and features as an important area in the work of the South African Human Rights Commission. Only it doesn't. The only time that this topic comes up is when they seek to persecute minority South Africans. So what exactly is hate speech according to the South African Human Rights Commission? Hate speech may be defined as expression which goes beyond mere insults or offensive language and which may infringe on the dignity of certain persons or groups. Now, that's not the same definition the Constitution has, but their definition is much looser. Infringes on the dignity of certain persons or groups. Well, the fact that he mentioned white supremacy and Afrikanerdom in the same phrase is clearly infringing on the dignity of 2.8 million South Africans. 4.8 million if you include white folks, with this denigrating with the term white supremacy an entire nearly 5 million South Africans, 10% of the population. Now, according to another author, not South African Human Rights Commission, hate speech entails any discriminatory speech which stems from hatred and aims to attack or harm an individual or group of individuals. And under this case, This still applies. While protecting against hate speech is important, such protections should not violate other equally important rights, in particular the right to freedom of expression. Calling people white supremacists, that's not freedom of expression, that's hatred. The difficulty with finding an appropriate balance between the prohibition of hate speech and the freedom of expression lies in the fact that free speech serves as a central pillar of constitutional democracy. Only when it applies to certain groups in South Africa. Now, the Constitution explains what characteristics of an offense constitute a hate crime. All right? Color, white. Ethnic, Afrikaner, or social origin, Afrikaner. Language, Afrikaner. Hate speech, according to the Act, is an offense directed at any of the aforementioned characteristics. So Julius Malema has committed hate speech according to the Constitution. Of course, he'll suffer no consequence whatsoever for his hateful commentary. He never does. He gets away with it all the time. Unbelievable, unbelievable. South Africa is a broken society. Why? Because they don't prosecute criminals. They persecute people for minor offenses, and they don't prosecute real criminals, people who violate the law on a serial basis, firing rifles into the air, endangering the public, encouraging supporters to burn the Boer down, encouraging arson, attacking retail locations for clicks, exhorting his fighters to go out and attack them. Never charge. Never charge. Singing songs saying, kill the Boer. It's unbelievable, folks. But this is South Africa. And lots of idiots will excuse this behavior. Well, apartheid was evil. Yeah, and what's your point? What does that have to do with this behavior? Not a damn thing. This buffoon never lived under apartheid. He was in nappies. Well, folks, there you have it. The EFF will agree to a coalition as a partner if they run the town. If you nationalize this, you do that, you do that. So obviously, this is a letter directed at the African National Congress because they hold a majority in the National Assembly and in the Parliament. No other party does. So only the ANC can introduce this legislation with any prayer of it being passed. This ain't going to happen. It shouldn't happen. This is a dangerous, dangerous group of individuals masquerading as a political party, wearing prison jumpsuits, disrupting Parliament, spewing racial hatred and insults in Parliament itself, yet playing the victim if someone challenges them. It's time that people wake up to the horrific things happening in South Africa. Folks, if you're not subscribed to Chris Wyatt Africa, become one. Smash that button right down there. Help us overcome shadow banning. We appreciate your support. Take care.